Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you guys are joining us from today. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Wednesday and week so far. Just to make sure that everyone can see and hear us, please find the chat and let us know where you are joining us from today. That way we'll know that we are good to go. Yeah, while you guys are doing that, let me just tell you that in case this is the first time you're joining one of our digital events, welcome. We hold our webinars, roundtables, workshops, and onboarding days to share some insightful information with the SEO community, help you make the most of SEO rankings tools, and hopefully give you some takeaways that will help you boost the traffic to your website. Today we're going to talk about, my name is Andrew Zarudny, and I'm part of the content marketing team, but you're not here for me as usual. But we're going to talk today about local SEO. There's a lot has happened over the past year, and the approach has changed a bit. And we invited a very special guest who has been with us for many times, has joined us, Sherry Bonelli. Happy to have you with us, Sherry.
Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it.
So Sherry is a Google Business Profile Platinum product expert, as you can see up on the screen, and she has loads of experience in SEO, and that's why we are happy to have her today with us. Well, she will help us break down everything that is going on in the local SEO with regard to ranking factors. Today, so let me just break down the agenda. So first we'll have like a 35-minute session where Sherry will present the findings of the local search ranking factors, just to give you an idea not an idea, but like specifically let you know what is happening with the local ranking factors this year. Then I'm going to give a presentation of SEO rankings tools that will help you stay on top of your local SEO, as well as stay on top of your website and page performance. And we will finish off with a Q&A session where we'll just address all of your questions. And to help me out during the demo part where we'll show off our tools, we have our very own Boris Shuko, the product manager, who helped us develop a local marketing tool, which we'll show you guys a bit later. But enough for the intro. So we got the agenda out of the way. There will be a recording. Just make sure to throw your questions into the chat. We will try to address them in the moment if it's relevant. If not, we will just address them during the very end. Let me just tell you a couple of words about SEO ranking in case you guys don't know enough about our tools or just haven't tried everything yet. So we have essential and advanced tools for both SEO newbies and those data hungry pros. And you can see up on the screen, we have a lot of recognition from this year. Well, a lot of them from last year and already some from this year. So we're just doing our best to provide you with all the tools you guys need and all the materials. And yeah, and let me just quickly share the next slide, which is just underlines and stresses that we provide stuff, well, not stuff, but tools for business owners, for SEO pros working with the other businesses, and just for digital agencies who manage this as an entire profession. All right, so without further ado, it took me a bit under 5 minutes to get the outro out of the way, but we're really interested in finding out what is happening with local ranking factors. And Sherry, you have the floor. We would love to get up to speed with your help.
All right. Thank you very much. So today we're going to talk about some of the local ranking factors with Google Business Profile and organic ranking factors, but then we're also going to go a little bit deeper into how those ranking factors impact your Google Business Profile and some tips and strategies on how to use Google Business Profile as it pertains to those ranking factors. So hopefully that's good with everyone, and we can go ahead and get started. So, as Andrew mentioned, my name is Sherry Bonelli. I'm with a digital marketing agency called Early Bird Digital Marketing in lovely Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in the United States. I'm a Google Business Profile Platinum product expert, and I've been doing search engine optimization, content marketing, and all things digital marketing for about 25 years. So, I've been in the industry for quite a while, back when Google was still in beta. So, I've been in the industry for a while. And I love finding out new things that are going on in SEO and content marketing and all the crazy things now that are going on with AI, for instance. But today we're going to focus on local ranking factors that will hopefully help either your small business, if you're a small business owner, or if you're an agency, help you understand what's going on from an industry perspective so you can help your clients. So if you want more customers, you definitely want to be on Google. I think there's no question about that. And you want to be where your customers are at, and that's on Google. So today we're going to talk about a study that WhiteSpark has done. They do this study every year. They interview, I think, probably around 70 SEO professionals. Luckily, I get to be one of those, which is awesome. So it's a really long survey that they ask the SEO professionals about what local ranking factors are that impact both the Google Business Profile 3-pack and also the local pack, and then also what impacts local rankings, because they're basically two different things. So different factors impact both the Google Business Profile local packs, but then also organic factors that impact how you rank on the first page of Google beyond Google Business Profile and the local pack. And so Darren Shaw and WhiteSpark came out with their survey not too long ago. So we're going to cover some of the main points of the survey, but I would encourage you to look at the entire survey because it's very comprehensive and there are a ton of ranking factors based in priority order. So I would encourage you to maybe take a screenshot or come back and look at this after you have a little bit more time so you can go in and digest the full survey. So when it comes to local search ranking factor groups, we're going to talk about Google Business Profile ranking signals, and those are proximity, and that is where your business is in relation to where the searcher is, for instance, where your business is located in relation to where the searcher is when they actually do their search for their business that they're interested in finding. Categories, keywords in the business name, for instance, and those types of things. And then on page signals is also a ranking factor. That's whether you have a presence of your name, address, and phone number, also known as NAP, on your website. And then keywords in your title tag, for instance, what your domain authority is, and those types of things. A lot of people don't realize that when Google looks at your Google Business Profile, they don't look at just your Google Business Profile. They look at kind of your whole online presence. And so your website matters, your social media matters, where you're mentioned matters, your backlinks matter, all sorts of things matter. And then we're going to look at, and then also they look at review signals, and those are both first and third party reviews, the quantity of reviews, whether or not the review actually leaves a text in the review, or if they just leave a star, for instance, those types of things. And then link signals, inbound anchor text links that go back to your website. Backlinks are important, but we found that backlinks aren't nearly as important as they once were. So that's kind of an interesting thing that we have found. And then the authority of the websites that are linking back to your website. You don't want to get website backlinks that are from really crummy websites or websites that aren't related to your industry, for instance. If you have a local business, you want to try and get backlinks from local authority websites if you can. Like maybe if there's a chamber of commerce, you want to try and get backlinks from a link from that chamber of commerce website to your website. That would be a great backlink to get. Behavioral signals, that would be like click-through rate on mobile devices. So like how many clicks to call do you get? How many messages do you get? How many direction requests do you get from your Google Business Profile or from your website? Are people actually clicking through and leaving form messages and those types of things? So those are behavioral signals. And then citation signals. A citation is basically any website that lists your business's name, address, or phone number. And so they're also called online business directories in some cases, or business directories. But citations are essentially any website that lists your company's name, address, and phone number. And I kind of equate it to the old Yellow Pages, if anyone remembers those big fat Yellow Pages books. It's kind of the new Yellow Pages. So examples of citation sites would be Yelp. Google Business Profile is essentially a citation because it lists your name, address, and phone number. If you have a Facebook business page, that would be a citation. So citation sites are anything that lists your company's name, address, and phone number. Okay. And personalization, that is basically the user's search history, where they're physically located, So their location, what type of device they're using, and those types of things. So when the questions were asked of the SEO professionals, these were kind of the signals and ranking factors that were part of the survey. So when it comes to the local pack and the local organic, they're two different things. Remember, local pack pertains specifically to Google Business Profile, and local organic pertains to ranking high, basically, on Google organic rankings. You can see that there's a little bit of a difference regarding what type of signals are ranking high and most important. And so when it comes to local pack, which is Google Business Profile signals obviously are the most high because we're talking specifically about Google Business Profile. On-page signals, which would be on your website, those are also the second most highest at 19%. So again, a lot of people don't realize that having a website that's very good is essential to ranking high on Google Business Profile. The third one is review signals for Google Business Profile rankings. And so having high quality reviews, having responding to those reviews is helpful, but getting quality reviews on a consistent basis, that's very important as far as a signal goes to help you with rankings. Behavioral signals. So again, that would be people actually doing click to call, leaving messages for you, asking for directions. Those type of behavioral signals are also very important. And then dropping in the rankings as opposed to what happened last year, citation signals have dropped in importance, but they're still important. And so if you can get listed on Yelp and Merchant Circle and yellowpages.com and have a consistent name, address, and phone number, that's still very, very important because it is on the list as far as ranking factors. And then personalization, that again is related to the type of phone they have, where they're located, past history, and those types of things. So those are the ranking factors in priority as far as Google Business Profile goes. Now, local rankings, organic factors, and again, this is on the first page of Google or very high on Google. You look at on-page signals, that ranks number one is the most important thing. So that would be having the title and having keywords in the title, making sure that your headings are up to snuff and have keywords in the headings and that the headings convey what the content on the page is about. And so using alt tags, making sure that you're using all of those SEO best practices. Content is even more important than ever when it comes to Google, especially with the helpful content system update that they had. And so you want to provide useful content that your users are looking for. You don't want to write for the search engines. You want to write for people first. So on-page signals are very important. Second is link signals. So that would be, again, backlinks that come from another website to your website. And then behavioral signals. Google Business Profile signals can factor into your rankings on organic search engine results. And then personalization, citation signals, and then your reviews. So you can kind of see the difference between Google Business Profile rankings and then local organic rankings. When it comes to local pack and local finder rankings, the primary Google Business Profile category ranks number one as being one of the most important ranking factors. Keywords in the Google Business Profile business name is number two. Proximity to the address of the point of search. So that would be the searcher, how far the searcher is from the business. That would be the third most important. And then the physical address in the city of search. So that would be the physical address in that the physical address is actually in the city where the searcher is searching for. That's very important. So let's say you have someone who is searching in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but your business isn't in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That can actually hurt your rankings. The other thing is removal of spam listing through spam fighting. And so that's important. And then having a high number of Google rankings and then adding additional Google Business Profile categories. You can add up to 10 categories. You just want to make sure there's specific categories to your business. And then the quantity of native Google reviews is also very important. And you want to try and have people leave text versus just leaving a star rating. And then here are the listings as far as organic ranking factors. Having a dedicated page for each service, that's something that we found is very important. So instead of having one services page that lists a bunch of your services, have individual pages that are dedicated just to each individual service. That can help with rankings. Internal linking across the entire website, the quality and authority of inbound links to your website, the geographic or neighborhood keyword relevance of your content, and then having keywords on your Google Business Profile landing page title is very important, as well as inbound links, the topical keyword relevance across your entire site. So that would basically mean that you're specialized in a particular topic or area. And then the volume of quality content on your services pages is another ranking factor. So now we're going to talk about some of the top Google Business Profile local ranking factors. And one of them I mentioned was categories. So you want to make sure that you pick the best categories. The first one that you pick is considered the primary category. So you want to make sure that that is the most specific to whatever your business does or is. And so if you find at a point where you're not ranking as high as you want to for that particular keyword, for instance, you can swap out your categories. Just know that swapping out major information or changing major information like your business's name, address, categories, those types of things can sometimes trigger a Google Business Profile suspension. And so you want to be really cautious about that, but you can change your categories. But the first category that you choose is considered your primary category. So you want to be very specific with that versus general. And so if you're a lawyer, for instance, you want to go ahead and you're a divorce lawyer, you would want to pick divorce lawyer instead of lawyer. You'd want to be very specific about what type of law practice you do instead of just picking lawyer. So divorce lawyer would be your primary category and lawyer maybe would be your second category. Add only to categories that describe what your business does or is. You can add up to 10 business categories, and categories again directly impact ranking. So they're very, very important. And categories also unlock certain features within your Google Business Profile. So there are certain features that are only available to categories that are hotels or medical facilities or spas, for instance. And so unlocking those features are only available to certain categories. So that's important to know as well. So you may be looking at a particular Google Business Profile and say, well, why don't I have that feature? It's because it's category specific. The other thing is some categories aren't available to service area businesses. Google has recently selected some categories that just simply aren't available to service area businesses. So you may see an error that says not available unless your business location is on Google Maps. Basically, that's saying unless you have a physical address. And so the only thing you can do is select the next most relevant category for you. There's nothing you can do to change that. And so if you find you're in that situation, just go through the categories and try and find the next closest category to what you do or what your business does. If you have a seasonal business, go ahead and mix it up. So in fall or winter, if you're an HVAC company, you might want to do furnace repair, but in the spring, your primary category might be air conditioning repair service. Same thing with landscapers. In the spring and summer, your primary category might want to be landscaper. But in the winter, if you do snow removal service would be your best primary category. So think creatively when it comes to these categories. Your business name. Now, this is probably one of the most important things, and it's also the area where we see a lot of businesses get suspended. So when it comes to the guidelines, you can't add any additional keywords, no city names, no street names, no landmarks, basically no extra words. It can only be your official legal business name as it appears on your signage and your official documentation. when it comes to your Secretary of State documentation, your incorporation documentation, those types of things. So here are some examples of some wrong ways to put your business name, where they mentioned the area, which was Airport Boulevard. And then on the other side, you see Dallas Premier Construction, which completely keyword stuffed their business name. Do not do that. That's a great way to get your business listing suspended. And here are some more examples of the right way to do it, which was Sweatbox, and the wrong way to do it, which was Unique Accounting CPA firm. You can't add those type of descriptors in your business name. And then if you're a practitioner, like a lawyer, a real estate professional, a chiropractor, those types of practitioners, you can only use your first and last name. Doctors can use the initials MD or whatever their medical designation is, and lawyers can add ESQ for Esquire if they want to. So if you're a realtor, you cannot add the word realtor or real estate agent. You can only use your first and last name. Same thing with lawyers. You can only use your first and last name. If you want to add Esquire, you can do that. But for the most part, you can only add your first and last name if you're a practitioner. And then here are the guidelines with regard to multiple practitioners. Just keep in mind that if there are multiple practitioners in an office, you're competing against every other person on the Google Local 3-Pack and the Local Finder. So chances are some of you are going to get filtered out and aren't going to be displayed in the Local 3-Pack or in the Local Finder because you're literally competing with everybody else in the office. Okay. Now, if you're a solo practitioner in office, let's say you're an insurance agent and you're the only person there, at that point, what you can do is you can use your company name, which would be Allstate, for instance, colon, and then your first and last name. So it'd be Allstate, colon, Joe Miller, if you're the only person in that office. So reviews are very important when it comes to online rankings. 82% of consumers read online reviews. It helps build trust and authority. And you want to try and get reviews from people when they're at their happiest. And so if you're a car dealer, that's usually when the person gets the keys to the car and they're ready to drive off the lot. I know when I bought my Dodge Challenger, the dealership and the salesperson took a picture of me and my husband in front of my car and sent it to us. And that was really, really cool. And so you want to ask customers for reviews when they are at their most happiest. Customers can also upload photos and videos when they're using the Google Business Profile or the Google Maps app. And so sometimes what I suggest is send them a photo of their newly cut lawn or their newly landscaped lawn or their new car when they purchased it or their new home, and then do the ask for the review and say, would you mind uploading this photo as well? We'd love for you to show off your new car or the landscaping project that we did or your new roof if you put on a new roof for them. But that's also a great way to get some pictures and videos on your Google Business Profile reviews. And the other thing is anyone that has any contact with your business can leave a review. They don't have to be customers. So I think that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. People will say, well, they're not even a customer of mine and they left a review for me. The UPS driver can leave a review for you. Anyone that picks up the phone and calls you, and even if they're not a customer, if your receptionist is rude to them, they can leave a review for you. They don't have to be a customer. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, when you're in your merchant panel on Google search, you will see a red dot when you have a new review. You'll also get an email, but as you're managing your profile throughout the day, hopefully you're managing it quite a bit and checking on things, but you'll see a red dot when you have a new review, and you will also see a notice in your cards as well. And the cards are right below all the menu buttons. So it'll show that you have a new 5-star review or a new 3-star review, hopefully not a new 1-star review, but you will get notices via email, and you will also see a red dot next to read reviews. And that's kind of a signal for you to go in and reply to that review. So you want to reply to every review, whether they're positive or negative. And if there's any way for you to turn the negative review into a positive, try and do that. And then, unlike Yelp, which specifically says that you cannot ask customers for reviews, Google is okay for you to ask people for reviews, but make sure that you don't bribe people. The other thing is, if you click on the little like button and you get 3 or more likes, that can sometimes bump up those great reviews. So you may want to click the like button, and you may want to ask some of your friends to do the same thing. But don't bribe or use incentives, because if someone reports you to the Google Business Profile Help Forum, you can get those reviews taken down. And so don't use any incentives. Don't offer to give anything away for free. Don't bribe people to leave reviews for you. It is against Google's policies. And then also try and get reviews on other platforms as well, because Google will display those reviews on your knowledge panel and your business listing. And so you want to be able to show off that you get reviews on other platforms as well. The other thing that people ask is, gosh, I'm going to ask somebody for a review and they're not going to leave a review for me. 72% of people, if they're asked, will leave a review for you. And so even if you answer a question for them that kind of satisfies their question, they're not even a customer of yours, you can even ask them, hey, if the information I provided to you was helpful, would you mind leaving a review for me? I do that all the time. And in most cases, they do leave a review. So just go ahead and ask for that review. You can get a short link, which basically is a shortened link that goes directly to leave a review. And that makes it super easy for people to leave reviews for you. You click on ask for reviews and you will get that short link that you can copy and paste and send out an email to a happy customer, or send a text message that they can just click on that link and it takes them directly where they can leave a review for you. The other thing you can try and do is ask people to kind of work in keywords. And you can do this subtly by saying, in your review, could you kindly mention which product or service we provided? So you may want to say, in your review, would you mind mentioning that we put on a new roof for you? Or would you mind mentioning that we put a new fence around your house for you? Or something like that. Because there are some studies, and this isn't 100% for sure, that have shown that if reviewers leave keywords in their review, that can help boost rankings. So it's always a good idea to try and get keywords in the review if possible. And there's different subtle ways to do that, just by kind of prompting them to say, would you mind mentioning that, you bought a new car with us, or you bought a new Dodge Challenger from us, or whatever. Just try and subtly mention that when you ask for a review, and see if they do it. Now, let's say you have a review that violates Google's guidelines, not one that you don't like, because you can't get a review taken down just because it's a 1-star review and you're not happy with it. So you can only report reviews that violate Google's guidelines. Okay. What you need to do is you need to first flag that review by going to the review and clicking on the 3 dots and clicking report review. Then you need to tell Google what review violation that review violates. And then you'll receive a response from Google letting you know whether or not they're going to take that review down or not. Now, if that doesn't work and for a fact that it violates guidelines, what you can do is you can go to this link on this page and you can go ahead and report using the review removal tool. And so that's kind of the second step that you would take if you know for sure that this review has violated Google's terms of service. Now, it can take up to 3 days for Google to review and respond to you and let you know whether or not they've taken the review down. All right. Suggest and edit. This goes along with the removing of spam that was part of the ranking factors. Anyone can suggest and edit to your business profile, even your competitors. And so you've probably seen this suggest and edit link on Google Business Profiles. Google makes updates to your listing, and they can make listing updates at any point and any time. You don't get a say in that. You do get to say whether or not you accept those updates, but that's after it's already gone live. And so these reports come from various sources like other online citation sites, your website, third-party sites, and user-suggested edits. And Google loves user suggested edits, by the way. So in this instance, the realtor is an individual practitioner and should only have their first and last name. And when I made a suggested edit, literally within minutes, I was able to change their business profile back to what it should be, which was just the realtor's first and last name. And so suggested edits are really powerful, especially if you have competitors that are violating Google's guidelines and you're adhering to the guidelines. I mean, why should they get to break the rules and you don't? So Google updates can happen without you seeing or without you approving them, and they go live right away. Google wants feedback from users about your business because they know everything you put out there is going to be kind of biased. So to suggest an edit, basically what you do is you click on suggest an edit. You tell them what kind of suggested edit, whether it's a name change or whether the remove the place. You would use remove the place if for instance, they're a local business and they are running their business out of their home and they're showing their address, but they don't actually see people in their home because they're running their business out of their home and they don't have proper signage. That would be when you'd use remove this place. But in this example, we're just going to change the name because they added the word Cedar Rapids, which is the city name. So then you go in and edit the name. And then Google will say, thank for the feedback. And then Google Maps will let you know whether or not they are approving it, whether or not they're reviewing it, or whether or not they're not going to make that change for you. So you can see that it's published there. And then information about your business was recently changed. You're going to get a notification if Google makes any changes to your information. Now, you will see when you go into your Google business profile, you'll see a blue information. You'll see it highlighted in blue that your business information was updated by Google. At that point, you can decide whether or not you want to accept those changes or whether or not Google goofed up and made the wrong changes. So in this case, what happened is for some reason, they kept taking down the website of this psychiatrist office. And so that was basically not the right thing to do. So we didn't accept that changes. We kept putting back the website. And in this case, they updated the business hours. So they must have found the business hours either on the client's website or somewhere else where there was a discrepancy. And so Google tried to fix the hours. So that's why it's important that your name, address, phone number, and all the information that you have online is very consistent. Now, the other thing that people don't realize is third-party tools can make changes to your Google business profile as well. And so you always want to remove any third-party tools that you don't need. And so you can go to myaccount.google.com/permissions to see what tools have access to your Google business profile. And unless you absolutely need to have those tools connected, I would suggest that you remove them. If you need those tools to be connected, then it's okay to keep them. But in some cases, you don't even realize these tools are connected to your profile. So if you get an update, you need to find out, is the update correct? So for instance, if you were name spamming, probably should just accept the edits. If the information is correct, you suggest you go ahead and click accept. Otherwise, click on the pencil icon and you can go ahead and edit the information. Now, the next step to take, if the suggested edits don't work and you have a competitor that's violating rules, you can fill out what's called a redressal form. And a redressal form is a more official form that you can fill out that basically tells Google, hey, this business is violating a naming guideline or some other guideline, and we want to report them. And so it's a form you fill out. So make sure that you have all the information. You will go ahead and tell them why they're violating the rules, what rule they're violating. You click submit. Once you submit, you'll get a case ID number. So hang on to that case ID number. You may get notified if the listing is taken down or if the change was made, but you may not. So in some cases, they may notify you and let you know that the change was made. In some cases, they may not notify you at all. Okay. So I think it's on to you, Andrew.
a lot. There's just so much to dissect. Like I'm hoping that the pace was good to everybody, but like anyway, with any case, you have the opportunity to review the recording, and so because I understand there's a lot to dissect, and yeah, let me just quickly take the opportunity to show you guys what SE ranking has to offer and to help you guys manage everything. One sec. Yeah, there you go. So I wanted to show you guys in line with what Sherry shared. So local SEO takes into account the way you manage your GBP listing and the way your website operates, sort of like the way Google sees it organically. So, and we have a couple of tools. Well, we have actually the entire platform is designed to do SEO, but I wanted today to focus on 4 specific tools that will help you manage your local SEO. So the first one is the local marketing tool, which we'll break down. Then there's another one about backlinks. So it gives you an opportunity to investigate any site's backlinks because this is also an important factor. And another one is on-page SEO checker, which gives you an opportunity to make sure that each and every page on your website is optimized for a specific keyword, taking the competition into account. And the last tool that I will show you is analytics and traffic. It gives you an opportunity to look at Google Search Console and Google Analytics data right from the platform and integrate all the data with our tools. So anyway, let me just quickly hope I have I'll be quick enough to show you guys everything. And for this specific part of the presentation, I will have Boris help me out, and he will just provide you with technical different tips and tricks. All right. So without further ado, the local marketing tool. To start working with the tool, you first need to add a location. It just the way it works is that you have your locations are already linked to your email. So just link your email, follow the process, and like this website that I'm showing you right now, Refresh Salon and Spa. I just added it a couple of hours ago, but I followed the same process. So once we've added it, we can see the name of the company, the address, the service area, and as like Sherry mentioned, some businesses have only a service area and they're not allowed to provide their address according to Google guidelines. So depending on what type of business you have, this data will get pulled up. This is all the information here gets pulled from your GBP listing. The one that already exists. Then we have the phone number, the score that takes into account the quality of your GBP profile listing. Sorry, the business listings and directories in which you are present, the business is present, and the way you manage customer reviews. And then we have the overview of the business listings where the business has been added to, the overall ratings and reviews, total number of reviews, and so on. So some of these are just examples that we have in our tool. Some of them are live. Let me just, the next step is I wanted to show you how you can edit your location. So just hover over any location that you have, and it gives you an opportunity to see what the information is according to your GBP listing. So you have the name of the business, its category. Like Sherry said, make sure to take advantage of and list up to 10 categories. You have the business hours, contact information. You have the address here. And as you can see, the service area is a blank here, and we can't even edit it because it just gets pulled from Google. So you can't lie and just put everything in there because that will violate the rules. And all the changes made here that you can make will also be reflected in your GBP listing. All right, great. So now we added a location. We sort of figured out the main parts about it. We have an overview section that gives you a sort of a breakdown of everything that's happening with your location. But essentially what it does, it just summarizes these sections. So just for sake of brevity, let me just go to the local rankings tool and show you how exactly you can keep track of how the keywords that are linked to your specific business locations tracking points are how they rank on Google Maps, because what we're showing right now is just specifically Google Maps. At the very top, you can see the location. Just be sure to select the one that you need, and you also have a lot of tracking options that give you the opportunity to add more tracking points, specify specific keywords that will be tracked in the traffic in the tracking point, as well as generally for your business. Just to give you, without clicking there, and just to show you what I mean. For example, we have cosmetic basil business selected, and we have 3 tracking points within this within this business. So they are all three different ones. Yeah, you can actually go to the setup and change the naming if you want to see everything right here. Oh yeah, see it's Basel, so just hover over it, you see the different neighborhoods of Basel, and you have the keyword, all the keywords that are tracked. So basically you can filter out and focus on everything that you need, specific points. And in the table below we can see each row represents a combination of a keyword with a tracking point. So let me just quickly show you. For example, I'll just select one tracking point and we can see all the data, all the keywords that are specifically unique to this location.
So basically, a tracking point is a place on the map, a place on Earth, where you want to track the positions of your Google business profile in Google Maps by a certain keyword, or maybe many keywords. So your business might be located at the center of some neighborhood of your city, and you would want to track its positions by certain keywords in different neighboring areas of the city or in different cities.
Thank you, Boris. And yeah, like typically with rankings, you can see how exactly each keyword is ranking on Google Maps for each specific tracking point. And if you don't see a data here, if you see a dash, which I can't find, let me just go quickly see all the locations. And you should see a dash somewhere here. That means that this keyword is ranking beyond the top 20 results on Google Maps. All right. Yeah, and we have a couple of charts at the very beginning that give you the opportunity to see what the average position for every keyword is for every tracking point, and other the rankings distribution across the ranges of top ranking search results and so on. All right, just because we don't have that much time, but I want to show you guys everything just quickly. The next section, the audit, sort of takes into account the GBP, the quality of the GBP listing, business listings and reviews, and gives you an idea of how well everything is optimized, ready for users and for search engines. Um, so the biggest points to note here are the different errors, warnings, notices, and past checks that you can take that you can sort of dive deep into to find out what exactly is wrong. For example, you have an issue that the company name does not contains errors for Foursquare, so that gives you an opportunity to go to Foursquare, make sure that everything is set up there, then re-audit your GBP listing, and you should be good to go. But everything in here gives you specifically points out what is wrong. Yeah, because we have like our GBP listing is pretty set up, so that's why it's all green except the surface area. So anyway, it's very intuitive here. Just follow the advice that we have here. For like, say for example, you have not checked because like maybe you need to add your business to these directories to make sure that the audit takes everything into account. So just make sure to do some work on optimizing your GBP listing, then go back to re-audit your website. Boris, anything that we missed here before I go?
Uh, I would I would like to draw your attention to the fact that we monitor business listings only in a limited number of business directories. Uh, Obviously, there are hundreds and hundreds of local business directories all around the world, but for now, we have chosen a number of them to monitor your listings in them. We're gradually growing this list.
Yeah, I'll show you the expanded section once we get to it, because this was sort of hints at the different stuff that is available. So let's dive deeper into specific points. So let's see how people engage with your GBP listing. Here you can see, like to start off, I want to say that this data, it gets pulled from Google, and we just transform the data visually in certain aspects. So maybe I just want to give Boris a word here to talk about some of the charts here because they are unique.
This page is in fact an integration with Google Business Profiles API with the current version of it. We pull the most important data from there and show it here. And on top of that, we have added two charts that aren't present there in the Google Business Profile Performance page, namely the views and the searches charts that show the number of corresponding events over time.
Thank you, Boris. Yeah, so basically, this gives you an opportunity to see a breakdown of how people find you, engage with you, specifically with your GBP listing. And you have the phone calls, messages, the opportunity to break it down to see specifically what was going on. Next, we have the business listings. I'm going to be very quick here. You can see where you're at it. You can see where you're not at it. And this is sort of is a wasted opportunity because every new listing gives you an opportunity to boost the traffic to your website and ultimately conversions. And the NAP is very important. The consistency of the NAP data is very important for Google and other search engines. You can quickly see. And if I just click on this, I will see that in Foursquare, I have a lot of errors. So this just quickly gives me a filter to make sure that I know what to work on to boost my visibility online. Yeah, and like Boris said, you can suggest a directory. You can add it, and we'll add it to the platform. Just like today, we added another one called Just Ask, or what was the name?
Justlanded.com.
Just Landed. Yeah, we added another one, so it's an ongoing process, and we're trying to do our best to not make you guys have to wait for the stuff that you need. And
The list of directories can depend on the country where you're opening the tool from. Some may be inaccessible from particular countries.
The one we're looking at is just Swiss, so it applies to a lot of stuff. But anyway, it just depends on your business, because I would love to show you guys all the different areas and all the different countries, but we'll have a separate event on this tool later on. And the reviews, just how helps you analyze what people are saying about you online. And one of the coolest parts about this, let me just quickly show you. Yeah, where we take reviews data from is Google, Facebook, Yelp, Foursquare, and TripAdvisor. And you can reply to Google and Facebook reviews right from the platform. Let me just click on one of the businesses that we've set up. So I can just easily say thanks and see the button changed, and I can post that response. Some of these accounts we did with our partners, so I don't need to interact with them. This is just to show you guys. So this gives you an opportunity to see everything that is going with your reviews, just like general raw data along with filters. Next up, we have the analytics that gives you a bit more information. Let me just quickly show you another one with a more detailed breakdown. So you can see where people are talking about you more. Like, for example, here you can see that it's a tie between TripAdvisor and Google, and you can see what the predominant number of reviews are and how many stars they have. But obviously, like, the star system is not unique for all, is not something that they all have in common. For example, Foursquare has doesn't have a system like that. It just has a recommend, doesn't recommend. Anyway, this here you can just get a more detailed breakdown of where they're talking to you from. Just sort of isolate that information and look at it. And one of the last things for the local marketing tool is these are AI-based insights. So the way this works is that if a certain keyword was mentioned in at least if it was mentioned twice, or if it was mentioned once in at least 2 reviews, frequency in reviews. So it was in at least 2 reviews, a keyword was mentioned. You will see it here in the table. You can turn this filter off and just see every keyword. But this we'll leave it up to you. You have the freedom to do that. But what I wanted to show you guys to point out specifically here is that you can click on a keyword and see all of the reviews that mention this keyword along with their rating. So, for example, if I see that the average score for the service, and this is a restaurant business, and this is something that is very important for these types of businesses, I see a review that the service is low, so that I need to jump on it. Not necessarily. It's a matter of replying to the review, sure, but it's also a matter of taking this review as like a helpful hint that will show you how to optimize, how to improve your business. And the same goes for anything else, just depending on what you want to focus on. Like the waiters, see, like everything is good overall, but some, like, a waiter was rude in one specific location, so maybe you want to review that, go contact that specific restaurant and make sure that this doesn't happen, because as you can see, this does impact your Your website. Sorry, the reviews your local SEO efforts. Boris, before I move on to the
Mhm.
quickly give an overview, is there anything that we missed or
So
you
the
want
so
to?
the phrases in the leftmost column are extracted from review text by an AI, and some of them can consist of two or three or maybe more words, and you can filter by that. Um, so such phrases consisting of several words, maybe of SEO like benefit. They can you can work with them as SEO keywords. For example, you can track if your customers leave reviews with SEO relevant keywords in their positive reviews, for example. So you can work with that.
Yeah, like Sherry said, it's not confirmed, but there's a rumor going on that the keywords used in reviews play a role. All right, that was what we wanted to show you in terms of the local, specifically managing your GBP listing. And I quickly want to just give you a point to where you can get a lot more information on that will help you manage your local presence in the organic finder. So I want to start off with the backlink tool. Um, oh, sorry, I need to quickly change the account. One sec, one sec. This was, yeah, because there was set up, it was done on a different account. So quickly, I wanted to show you guys the backlink tool where you can just enter your domain. It can be a competitor's domain as well. And you will just get all the information available. Let me just quickly show you a report that was already created because I don't want to wait for it to analyze anything. So you just get a breakdown of specific websites, so Bank Bazaar, and you see the referring domains, and you can click through to see specifically the referring domains. So if you're not looking at your own website, this is a great tool for looking at your competitors, studying their link building strategy, and sort of copying their ideas and trying with your own twist. But this does have to a lesser extent, but it does have an impact on your organic rankings for your business. Um, Another thing that you can do is take a couple of websites and compare them. So just like so that you don't have to even think about. Yeah, you obviously have to think about everything, but like it just makes it a bit easier. Cargurus.com, and you can just compare two different websites, competing websites, and see how their backlinks stack up next to each other, and just draw conclusions like, okay, these guys did something like that. I want to reach out to that website. It will help me boost the authority to my website. So we just compare two websites basically, and yeah, there's a lot of filters here that can just show you exactly what they're doing that you're not doing. And we also have a backlink monitor tool that I'm not going to show you, but this tool is already is linked to your specific business or to your client specific business, because in order to make use of it, you have to connect Google services to your account to make sure that all of the links are always feeding the SEO ranking back and forth, just feeding the data and making sure that they are all up to date, and all the valuable time that you spent building those backlinks, that they won't just disappear. Another important tool is about on page. I'm going to go once again very quickly through it. The idea here is that you enter a URL. So I would advise that you enter every web page that you have, just to make sure that it's doing its job, because the main job is to serve a keyword, and just so specify the URL, the location and the keyword, and then the system will check who's ranking at the top for the specific keyword and give you pointers. So let me go back to the to an audit that has already been performed. Let's go to once again to our Cosmetic Basil website and see. Yeah, see, so you have a breakdown of the competitors that the systems, and you're also free to select the competitors if you believe that you need to compare your website to a different competitor. And it's similar to the audit in the local marketing tool and to the website audit that we have just generally in SEO ranking. It just gives you different categories and a breakdown of what is wrong and what is right. And plus you can click on everything here and just points specifically, lets you know what is wrong, why we think that it's wrong, give you an explanation, maybe even send you to some recommended reading material if it requires more knowledge on that. All right, and the competitive comparison here gives you an opportunity to see what exactly your competitors were doing. So like I said, the AI analyzes your competitors and just points out, like, well, let me quickly scroll. Yeah, see body zone, and you can specifically see how they're using keywords in their content, main content, supplementary content, and so on. Yeah, it's a different topic. So just for the brevity's sake, let me quickly go to the SEO tasks, where all of the conclusions that you've made, that you've seen, that you've once you've compared with your competitors, you can decide, like, okay, so I'm going to optimize this page, and you can just decide what the tasks will be, what needs to be optimized. And if you see that something is missing here, you can add your own task and just make sure that this page includes this, so that it is primed for success, just to outrank even those competitors that are already sitting confidently on the first position. And last but not least, it's just going to take me 1 minute, but I wanted to show you guys what can happen to your tools if you add Google Search Console and Google Analytics. You'll be able to see everything within the platform. You can get an overview of the sessions, views, engagement. So like the behavior metrics. You can analyze. Yeah, basically everything that we spoke about, that Sherry has covered, these behavioral points. We try to focus to show you guys the tools within the platform that will help you keep an eye on these specific points that matter for local SEO. Yeah, you can get a breakdown of the traffic, snippets to see if they're attractive enough. Google Search Console even points out which keywords you're not tracking. Let me just see. If it doesn't work in like 5 seconds, I need to update the page, and just I'm impatient. There you go. So yeah, it just points out which keywords are not tracked by you, but people are finding your business by. So there's a lot you can dissect, and we have like around 30 tools, and that is what I wanted to show you guys. And let us go back to the presentation, not to the presentation, but whew, that was a lot, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. That was a lot. And let me stop sharing my screen, and we are ready to take any of your questions. And let's start off with a question. I saw one. Um, is there a limit on how many GBPs you can manage, GBP listings? Let's start off with this. Sherry, is there a limit on this actually?
I think there is a limit to the number that you can add. I think it might be 100 in your account. I'm not 100% sure. But obviously you want to make sure that they're legitimate businesses and not fake ones, obviously. But I think it might be around 100 that you can manage within a certain account. But I'm not 100% certain of the number.
And there was also a question about, like, when you were showing the different suggestions that Google automatically makes to your GBP listing. Who has access? Does only one person have access to that specific data, or do you have like sub accounts that can also, like, managers can go into it?
Yeah, so managers can go ahead and look at those changes as well. So anybody that manages your Google Business Profile account can go ahead and either accept or reject those changes and update those changes, or accept those changes.
All right, awesome. And then it's a two-parter question because it was broken down. So the pros and cons of verifying practitioner pages when a business has already been verified.
Yeah. So if you have practitioners, they definitely want to have their own practitioner pages. I mean, it just makes sense to do that just because people are going to be searching for them, right? So if they're lawyers, real estate agents, doctors, people are going to be searching for those practitioners. So it makes sense to have practitioner pages. The only con would be that they're competing against one another at that location, at that address. So that would really be the only con. And the way to kind of get around that is make sure, if you can, try and have them come up with different primary categories. So maybe some of them have a different primary category than others, and that may help spread out that competition between them.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, I'm just trying to filter out the questions to see which ones we can address here. So what is the best way to sponsor a GBP listing? Because they're still using the old language, GMB profile.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by sponsor.
Yeah, so if you can clarify, we'll just go to the next question.
Yep.
But in case Founders Legal can clarify, we would love to know what you meant. I'm guessing this question is probably for us. Yeah, we have. I already stop presenting, but we have a reporting tool. I think I have. I can still present. Yeah, I can still present. We have an entire report builder here that just allows you to pull in various sections from the platform, and for anything else that is not covered in the report builder, which the local marketing tool is covered in there. But for everything else, we have just the option to export data. So let me just quickly go. For example, you wanted to work on the on-page SEO and just see what was happening there. Let me just quickly show you. Yeah, you have the opportunity to export everything. Yeah, but this is like a task, a list of updates that will go from for example, from the audit page. So once again, you can export everything from everywhere in its ranking, but we specifically have a report builder that helps you put everything together in a more neat environment, and it just looks better, and it gives you an opportunity to play around with, I don't know, dates and the way it's presented. But yeah, okay.
Then there's another way of kind of reporting. We have guest links everywhere.
Oh, that's a
We
good
have
point.
guest links in those standalone tools that you were talking about, like on Page SEO Checker, and we have the guest link in local marketing that allows you to share the pages that you have selected with your customer. The access is read only.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the guest link is just make sure to try it out. And another question, yeah, it's the clarification we got from the Founders Legal about the sponsoring. So I see competitors coming up with sponsored and even using the smart campaigns to do this. But it's
Yeah, the only thing I can think is that's a Google Ads thing. So I think you can use Google Ads to promote your Google Business Profile listing.
Thank you. Yeah, and we have a good one for Sherry. It's a good one for everybody actually. It's about the proximity of the address. I think it's a good point to mention here. So if the proximity of an address to search location is a factor, would it be beneficial for a service area business to list to be listed in the entire city rather than a specific address?
So when you are listing your service areas, you can either list the county, the city, or a zip code. I generally recommend listing cities. I just think that makes more sense because most people search via city. But then Google also looks at the address of where the business is physically located. So even if you have a service area business, they will look at your home address if you are operating your business out of your home. So they'll look at where the city is, where your home is. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, okay, thank you. And yeah, we're getting clarifications about the sponsored stuff. Let me just quickly bring it up on the screen. You don't have to respond, but just like we got another clarification. Maybe this will nudge you in the right direction. And the continuation is, so the GBP has been linked to ads. Smart campaigns has been set up, but still it's not showing up. Is this something that we can advise with you on?
Yeah, I would go ahead and I don't usually do anything with Google Ads. I would go ahead and contact Google Ads and see if they can help you with that.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Let me hide this. Um, okay, here we have another one. What if your actual business name contains a keyword or city name, for example, ABC Handyman Charleston? Would that be penalized if that's listed as the GP business name?
Not if that's your actual legal business name, but you're going to have to prove that if you get suspended. So you're going to have to come up with legal documentation that proves that that's your legal business name.
Okay, yeah, because I saw another one in the chat. It was like Thai food near me as like the business name.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
could
people are
could be.
doing that, and that's, to me, seems ridiculous to do that. Because I have a feeling at some point Google's going to get wise and not use business names as a ranking factor. That's just my guess. If they're smart, they would do that because people are literally changing their business names. The other thing is, you're, in a sense, not helping yourself because when people try and search for your business name, your knowledge panel, your business profile isn't going to show up because it's generic keywords. So your business panel isn't going to show up because you're using such generic words for your business that you can't find your Google business profile knowledge panel. So I wouldn't recommend doing that, but people are doing it.
Actually, I'm looking, and the questions, we don't have any specific like questions per se that I want to bring up here. And I would maybe love to get a summary of, not a summary, but like a takeaway, like what do you think will happen next year? Because there was a shift. There was a shift this year already with the links and the on-page factors. Maybe like, what is your forecast for next year's report, Sherry?
Yeah, I mean, I think that citations are going to continue to go down as far as the local ranking factors go. I think they're going to be less and less important. I think Google's going to add more features to Google Business Profile, so that means that it's going to get more complex. And then I also really hope and think that Google is going to eventually make it so that the business name does not have as much ranking power. I would think that would be in everyone's best interest if they do that, because right now there are so many best San Francisco dentist, names out there that it's just becoming ridiculous in the marketplace. So my hope is that they do that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I see a question in the chat, but like I already know, but we're gonna send a follow-up, and in the follow-up we have a couple of articles, and one of them also is like troubleshooting GBP setup. So you'll check that out. And let me just quickly close off everything by showing a couple of things. I wanted to also hold on. I wanted to show I wanted to show the one area that was asked about. So what is this local marketing tool all about? Like, so it has a different, you need to purchase it. So there are limits, but we have a custom plan. So if you need to work with more than 50 locations, we can definitely do that for you guys. And all the different, so this is where you can check out what your account's limits are. But yeah, and there's just too much, and everybody has individual demands on this, but this local marketing tool is already available, and you can get it in SE ranking. Just go to the pricing page and we'll do that. And I wanted to show the final thing before we close off everything is just a short plug for Sherry. Just make sure to go to this website, Google Business Profile. It's earlybirddigitalmarketing.com. Yeah, it's already in the chat. Be sure to check that out, because you will have a hard time finding an expert as good as Sherry with as much experience about the stuff that matters, like this much, like at Google. So be sure to do that. And regarding us, you have the opportunity to take advantage of the extended free trial that gives you a lot more access. But still, it's a 14-day trial, but it has a lot more account limits, a lot more tools can be tried within there. So be sure to scan that QR code. Let's go for the next slide. And we also want to invite you to our community. Also, the QR code. We have one currently on Facebook, but we are working on one on Reddit. We just want to have it all red carpet ready for you guys once we'll give you an announcement. So yeah, we talk about SEO, about our tools, and plus you can communicate with your network, with your peers there. It's a good place for SEO. And if you're already subscribed to SEO Ranking, you have free access to our academy, where we have an SEO basics course, a course about doing content SEO. We're also always developing new ones. We have a course about working with SEO Ranking as well, SEO Ranking in action. And I'm not sure if this is the last slide. Yeah, it is the last slide. So I want to just once again refer to all the different places where you can reach out to SEO Ranking to. And I want to thank Sherry from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to do this with us. Once again, she has been so kind to join us every half a year or so. So this is always a pleasure, and there's always something happening with local search. And this time, there's definitely a shift that you guys need to take into account. So it's not only about GBP; it's about managing your website as well.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, oh, there my cat goes to say bye. Yeah, so we're going to end it here. Thanks to everyone for being here. And yeah, stay safe and see you next time.